topic which we are going to discuss today is pronouns. Pronouns are the words which are used in place of nouns, and also they avoid the repetition of nouns, same noun again and again. For example, if I say Sita goes to market, Sita brings fruits from the market, Sita assists her mother in the kitchen. So instead of repeating the same word again and again, we substitute Sita with she. So he, she, it, they, them, you, us, they all are pronouns. There are 8 types of pronouns: personal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, emphatic pronouns, interrogative pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, distributive pronouns, indefinite pronouns, and relative pronouns. Now, let's try to understand one by one each of these. What are personal pronouns? Talking about personal pronouns, as the name suggests, is derived from the word person. There are 3 persons we have in pronouns, that is first person, second person, third person. Now what do we mean by first person? First person is the person who is speaking, second is the person to whom I am speaking, and the third person is the person about whom I am speaking. Suppose I am speaking here, you are listening here, and if I talk about someone, that person will be he, she, or it. It can either be a non-living thing or living thing. Now, when we talk about their plural forms, they will be, first person will get converted into we. Second person, you will always remain you in subjective as well as in objective case. Third person will change into they. In case of he, she, it, they all get converted into they. There's a confusion here. Kids make a mistake here that they change he and she into they, but while they change the plural of it, they keep it only. It always changes into they. Okay, this is one of the questions which can be asked in exams also. Now, these are the persons which we were talking about, but there is one more criteria on behalf of which we have classified our personal pronouns, that is subjective case. There are 3 cases. As we have done in nouns, 4 cases: subjective, objective, possessive, and vocative. Similarly, we have in pronouns also 3 cases: subjective cases, objective cases, and our possessive cases. Now, what do we understand by subjective cases? As you can see here, I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they all form the subject of the sentence. What do we mean by subject of the sentence? They are the doers in the sentence, they are the subject, so they are known as subjective cases, and they are also known as nominative cases. Subjective cases are also known as nominative cases. And second category we have, second classification we have as objective cases. Now, as the name suggests, objective is derived from the word object. Object is on which the work is being done. So here the objective cases are also known as accusative cases, and they are for I, me, you again remains you, he, she, it changes into her, him, and it. And when we talk about their plural forms, me changes into us, you again remains you, whereas they changes into possessive cases, also known as your genitive cases, these are the cases they show possession. Possession here, or the belongingness or the ownership. Now for this case, possession will be shown by the word mine in case of pronouns. Now few kids confuse here, even they get confused, they use my in place of mine. As we did in definition, pronouns are the words which replace nouns. They can't be used in before noun or after noun. Whereas if we use the word my is an adjective, and adjectives are always used before noun. For example, if I say this is my shirt, in this case my is an adjective, and if I say this shirt is mine, so it is replacing a noun here. So this is a pronoun and this is an adjective. So I would like kids to please emphasize on this part. Here you changes into yours, not your. Your is a adjective again. Her, him, it changes into hers and his. Whereas for it we don't have possessive pronoun. Us changes into ours. You again to yours, and them changes into theirs. And if we talk about their adjective form are your and their. Again, I'll clarify this with one more example. If I say this house is theirs, in this case it is replacing a noun and forming a pronoun. And if I say this is their house, it is used before a noun, so it is an adjective. So this is the mistake or the blunder which students generally commit. So please focus on this area. Let's recall now the personal pronouns as we did. Personal pronouns are the pronouns which denote the person of a pronoun, that is first, second and third person, and they are also known as subjective cases, objective cases and genitive cases. Their subjective cases are also known as nominative cases, objective cases are known as accusative, and possessive cases are known as genitive cases. And when we talk about the subjective cases, they include the subject of a sentence, that is I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Whereas the objective cases are me, you, her, him, it, us, you, them. And in case of possessive cases, mine, yours, hers, you'll see we generally add s, but in case of his we don't add s because it's already having a his sound, s sound at the end. Even if we add s, so still the sound remains same. Ours, yours and theirs. And the adjectives of possessive adjectives are my, your, her, his, our, your, their. Proceeding to our next classification of pronouns, that is reflexive pronouns and emphatic pronouns. Now, what are reflexive pronouns? They are the pronouns or the words ending with self or selves. Similarly, emphatic pronouns are also the words which are ending with self or selves. So what is the main difference between the two? That is the reason I differentiated both the pronouns on the screen for you, because it's confusing, because both of them are 9 in number and are the same words used in place of your nouns. If I say myself, here also myself, then what is the difference between a reflexive and an emphatic pronoun? Let's try to understand with the help of of the definition. Now, as I said, reflexive pronouns are the words which refer back to the subject of the sentence. Suppose if I say here, example, I saw myself in the mirror. Here, myself is referring back to your subject. Whom did I see? Myself. So, when I say myself, there has to be a subject and it is talking about the subject. The other difference as we see through the definition here is, in case of emphatic pronouns, words which end up in self or self used to emphasize a noun. Here, I, myself is emphasizing, is stressing the noun here or pronoun here, not reflecting back to the noun or pronoun. And the other difference is that this pronoun, your reflexive pronoun, is always followed by a verb. Here the verb is saw and here also the verb is saw. I have taken the same type of examples to make the things clear to you. So here if we see reflexive pronouns, they always follow the verb, whereas in case of your emphatic pronoun, a verb is followed. That means your emphatic pronoun is preceded by the verb. Okay. And the other difference can be, if I even hide here this myself, I saw my image in the mirror, still the sentence remains complete. I saw my image in the mirror. On the other hand, if I say I saw in the mirror, the sentence remains incomplete. Means I can't make out that what did I see in the mirror. I saw myself, I saw him in the mirror. So it makes a difference, whereas it does not make much difference. It is used only to stress the main noun or the pronoun. Hope the difference is clear. Now let's proceed to proceeding towards our next classification of pronouns, that is relative and interrogative pronoun. Relative pronouns and interrogative pronouns, again they are almost same, who, which, that, whom, whereas interrogative pronouns are whose, which, who, what. So how to differentiate between the two? These relative pronouns, as the name suggests, always relate or refer to the noun which is already used, which has been used in the sentence, whereas interrogative pronouns are used to ask a question. There will always be a question mark in a sentence where an interrogative pronoun has been used. For example, if I say I like the painting which you drew, here we are talking about the painting. So painting is the noun here and we are referring to this painting. Suppose I like the painting. If I say which you drew, it is leaving a question in your mind that there has to be something about which we are talking. So we are talking about painting. That is why it is relating to this noun. This is why this is relative pronoun. He is the same pilot who works in America. Who works in America? That means we have already talked about the pilot and now we are just referring. We are just referring or relating. Now in this case, if I say which is your painting, it is a question. It's not relating to the noun or the pronoun used before. Why I am clarifying these things? Because further in next chapter when we will be doing adjectives, so we have to differentiate between interrogative pronoun and interrogative adjectives. Similarly with your emphatic, reflexive, adjectives and pronouns, we should be clear with the pronouns right now. If I say which painting is yours, so this will change into an adjective. This which will change into an adjective. So it has to replace a noun to be termed as a pronoun. First condition, and second condition, how to differentiate between relative and interrogative pronoun. It should be clear that if the noun has been used already and we are talking about that, then it is relative, otherwise it is interrogative. Second difference is generally this forms here the pronoun generally forms a subject, whereas here the pronoun is used in between the sentence. Now proceeding to our next pronouns, that are distributive and indefinite pronouns. These are again very important types of pronouns when talking about the questions related to the pronouns. Now in this we generally get questions related to the verb and the noun used in the sentence when we are using distributive pronouns. Distributive pronouns are always used or they refer to one thing. In this the key word is one. The key word is one, that they will always refer to one thing in a sentence. That means if I say every, each, neither, either, any, none, if we are talking, so in this case always and always noun and verb have to be singular. I want to explain you with the help of examples which we will be doing later on. Suppose one example I have taken. You may choose either tool to do your work. Here either is the distributive pronoun and tool is the noun which I used immediately after this. So this is singular in this case. Because we used you, that is why we did do, otherwise the verb also remains singular. Here it is plural because we use the subject as you. Now in case of indefinite pronoun are the pronouns which do not refer to anything in particular. They are just the opposite. For example, if I say everyone in the class should bring the notebooks tomorrow. This, and here I say each student should bring the notebook tomorrow. Each student and everyone. Here they are like, here I am referring to one child in the class, whereas here I am referring to all the students in the class. Hope the difference is clear to you. Here we are referring to general category, that is generally we are talking about everyone, anything, anyone, someone, somebody, everything, some, nobody, one, many, several. Whereas in this case we are talking about just one. Neither if we are talking, that means we are talking about no one. Still it is a particular thing. Either when we are talking, so we are talking about one thing out of two. When we are talking about any, we are choosing one thing out of many. None is none out of all. But every case you will see we have taken one out of group or out of two people, or it is single. And in this case, see through the examples, I have read everything, I have nothing to read, they need to read something. We are not definite about what we are talking, and secondly, they are not talking about just single thing, they are talking generally in this we have already done. Now our last pronoun, that is demonstrative pronoun. This we have already done many times, but still children make mistake. There are 4 demonstrative pronouns: this, that, these, those. They are used to point out a noun or a object, and that makes it more specific. Suppose I say this is the chair, So we are specific about the chair, that we are talking particularly about this is the board. So we know that which board we are talking about. So it's used to point out. Now the main difference between this, that, these, those is that this is used for singular and for things which are closer to us, whereas that is used for singular which are far away from us. Similarly, these and those. These is used for things which are closer to us, whereas those is used for things which are far away and used in plural form. So these, can I say this is the board or can I say that is the board? No. The board is close to me, so I will say this is the board. If I say that is the chair, it will be correct because chair is far away from me. So here I end up the session of pronouns. Hope it is clear. Thank you.